Welcome to the Network Marketing Made Simple podcast. I am your host, Scott Aaron, and each and every week I'm going to come to you with short, simple, and powerful tactics of how you can grow your network marketing business, brand, bank account, and impact on those around you. And just remember, network marketing is not easy, but it can be made easy with simple steps to create the success that you truly deserve. So Carolyne, welcome to today's episode. And I'm really excited about today because the person you guys are going to be hearing from today was someone in the very, very beginning of my network marketing journey 7.5 years ago. Inadvertently took me under her wing. And, because, at the time, I'm not sure if you had yet moved from Canada to Florida, but we would meet at events, and someone I highly, highly respected and still do and looked up to. But more importantly, just such an empowering story of someone's journey. And I love getting to interview friends that I've been seeing do amazing, amazing things. And we've known each other for a number of years now. And we were having a little touch base Zoom a few weeks back, and I said, why don't you come on my podcast? And I think this may be her first podcast interview that she's ever doing. So it's, when you're a seasoned professional like her, it's not going to be difficult for her to share her story. But I don't want to take up any more time. So Carolyne, for my listeners, some of them do know you. Some of them do not. So tell them a little bit about yourself, but more importantly, what was that moment for you in your entrepreneurial journey? It was through the vehicle and through the means of network marketing, but what was that moment for you where that spark of entrepreneurship was lit that's never allowed it to go out since?
Well, first of all, thank you, Scott. And be gentle. I've spoken on a stage in front of 16,000 people, yet doing a podcast seems kind of like weird when I can't see people, right? Because I'm such a visual engager. So appreciate the opportunity to share with your audience. And if there's one person out there, this is something that I've learned. If there's one person out there that you and I can impact, then we have done good in the world, right? So let me take you back to 11 years old. I just emigrated to Canada from India. My mom, my dad, my two brothers and sister, and my grandmother, who was in India, a missionary. She would walk like 20, 30 miles a day in the hot sun visiting people. And when she came to Canada, I was like, what was her purpose? So she became a fuller brush lady. That's going back many, many years. And at 11 years old, she paid me 10 cents to package up all her little orders, then load them in her buggy and do what she did best, walk the streets and deliver wax and what have you. So that's where my entrepreneurial journey started way back at 11. I thought, 10 cents, what can I buy for 10 cents? So I am now 65 years old. That was many, many years ago. Long story short, I loved to travel. And I became a flight attendant as, it was a dare, because people were like, well, you're never going to get hired. You too short, you too this, you too that. And I'm like, oh yeah, watch me. And I did get hired, running around the world, seeing, I could take you shopping anywhere in the world. But at 49, Scott, it was like an epiphany for me. And I'm like, really? Is this my legacy, serving bad food and knowing where to shop? And I'll backtrack a little, leading up to that epiphany of what am I put on this planet to do? Everybody wants to help people. So I was helping people feel comfortable in the plane. But I also like the idea of having some money of my own, that I could do whatever I wanted with. So previous to network marketing, I did have 2 or 3 other entrepreneurial companies. So flying back and forth from India to Canada, importing goods, selling them here, started my own leather goods company because of a connection with somebody who had high-end leather goods. So I cut my teeth for network marketing in these previous entrepreneurial endeavors that weren't successful, at least that's what I thought at the time. But they were preparing me for the freedom side of having a business. So what was the light bulb moment? The light bulb moment for me in entrepreneurship is me being able to control my actions, my activities, and my results. And when I failed in my 3 previous when I didn't get the success I wanted, I started disseminating what did I do well there, what worked and what didn't work. And I knew a few key things. I didn't want employees. I didn't want overhead. And I didn't want to have to do payroll and taxes and all that nasty stuff. And I'm like, well, what kind of business exists out there? And I did not know about network marketing. However, when we set our radar to the things that we want, it's funny how things show up. And I had a pilot on a flight share with me a product because I was complaining about a particular ailment. And he said, well, maybe these things will help you. And he gave me a product that I tried, and I was like, whoa, what is this stuff? He never gave me his contact info. Cardinal sin in network marketing. So my journey into network marketing, that I didn't know was network marketing, started with a product need and then delving into how do I find these products. And this is 23 years ago that I started my journey into the network marketing arena. There was no internet, there was no computer, there was nothing. I just had to go like calling people and asking people. So I actually found network marketing and then went about trying to find somebody to enroll me in network marketing, but I didn't know what network marketing was. It was just a business. So my epiphany moment when I understood the power of sharing with other people and everybody doing a little bit of work, that's when I'm like, I don't have to carry inventory. I don't need a slew of people that I have to pay, and I don't have to have anybody coming through my door asking me what to do. That's when this is a business for me. And then I'll tell you what happened, my next step.
So obviously there's a lot to unpack there, but I think that, there's a lot of misconceptions about network marketing. They think it's a Ponzi. They think it's a pyramid. I actually did a Facebook Live on this a few months ago that it's considered a Ponzi and a pyramid, not because it's illegal, because it's not illegal. It's the fact that, a lot of people are going about the opportunity in the business the wrong way. And as much as the companies are responsible for providing these opportunities for people, it's also the associate and the distributor's responsibility to really do the business the right way. And I can tell you from day one when I met you, and still to this day, I mean, you've been a part of the company that we're both partnered with for a decade and a half now, and you still do the business the same way that you did since day one. And we call that the compounded effect, because I always tell people, when you start treating your network marketing business like a 401k and not like a lottery ticket, you're going to create wealth. And if you think about that concept, people that hit the lottery, 75% of them end up losing all the money that they won in the lottery within 2 years. But if you think about the compounded interest example as a 401k, you make those daily deposits, those weekly, those monthly deposits. And guess what? Your team grows over time. And as your team grows over time, so does your income. And you are a prime example of that. So my next question is this. What was because again, you found out very randomly about network marketing. What was your misconception personally of network marketing? And once you got under the kimono of the profession, how much did that misconception change?
Okay, first of all, I didn't have a misconception of network marketing because I didn't know what network marketing was. So I wasn't carrying everyone's mantle of it's a bad thing. However, once I jumped in, I started discovering people were telling me all those things you just alluded to. You're going to lose your friends, they're going to take your money, no one's going to, and I'm like, uh, I haven't had that happen to me. I'm like, really? Is that what network marketing is? And then I started Googling and doing some of my own work. And the challenge when people tell you something bad about something is they're bringing their negative impressions and failures and dumping it in my lap. And so I thought, let me formulate an opinion based on what I am learning. And then it's wise to take into consideration people who've been successful. What are their concerns? My husband was one of them, right? He came from the corporate world. And what I very quickly learned is that network marketing is a misunderstood model of business. So when I engaged my husband into helping me understand this, because he was in sales, I go, well, you're selling. So you're selling, everybody's selling something. My husband was selling something. I am selling something. People shy away from that word selling because, again, it's a misunderstood perception of this is a goods, is there value, how's it going to help me? And most people don't know how to communicate that. And then you add in the ingredient of network marketing and they wrap it all up into it's a bad thing. So when I understood that, all right, how can I be in service to somebody first? I share my experience and I offer up some information, and it's for you or it's not. That's it. And so my husband was my biggest convert because people in traditional business see the network marketing model as a not viable means of generating income. And the challenge is because in every profession, including network marketing, including corporate America, is there are people who do things well and people who do things taking shortcuts and misleading people. And unfortunately, network marketing carries a bit of baggage around that. So I let that stuff go. And I tell people, including my husband, judge me not by what you see and heard out there. Judge me by what I am doing. That I cannot control what everybody else and your neighbor and cat and dog are saying and doing. You're dealing with the person in front of you. Yes, no, maybe, thank you, let's move on. So did that happen overnight, Scott? No, it took me 6 years in my previous network marketing company to cut my teeth. And when I left that company, I was like, oh my God, I'm such a failure. And it was my husband who shared with me, he said, are you measuring success solely by the dollars in your bank account? And that's when I was like, okay. He said, you got your PhD in that model of business. And when I joined the company you and I are mutually affiliated with, I took that learning and put it into use. So the skills that everybody comes to the table with will be different. My learning curve was 6 years, Scott.
So I know the possibilities of creating income in network marketing. It took me 22 months to have my first $10,000 month. And I've told people that, and that was compounded 22 months. So I didn't go from zero to $10,000 overnight. So you are part of in the legacy club in this company, which means you've made cumulatively at this point, multiple seven figures. So, and again, there are so many people that they don't feel like they can do it. They play this comparison game. So I just want to ask you two questions. They're pretty vulnerable, but it's going to really help the listeners. So you have a long career in this profession. What was your highest grossing month that you can recall in network marketing?
Um, okay, so this was my husband keeps all the numbers, right? So I maxed out my business center. So 13,500 a week.
So around $52,000 in 1 month.
Yeah, actually it was 66 that month.
Okay. So just to let the listeners know, you guys heard that correctly. Her best month, not every month, but her best month was the amount of money that a lot of people make in 1 year.
That's what I was making as a flight attendant.
So you made in 1 month what you made as a flight attendant. Now, what kind of income, your best year in network marketing, what did you create in a 12-month span? What was your best year?
So that was the year I maxed out my business center. So $750,000.
So what people need to understand when they hear that, it's not about to make you feel bad about maybe where you are. It's to let you know it is possible. You know, I bring people on this podcast to let you guys know that it is possible. You can do this. And you're hearing from someone that did it. And, you know, I always go back to and my listeners have heard this story before, the story of Roger Bannister, who was the first person to run a sub 4-minute mile. And everyone kept telling him, you can't do it. You can't do it. It's never going to happen. If you try, your heart's going to explode. You're going to die. And guess what? He did it. And then, funny enough, 12 or 13 people over the next year also accomplished that same thing. So you guys are listening to someone that made over $60,000 in 1 month, over $750,000 in 1 year. So what does that tell you? That you can do it too. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's that compounded interest of having conversations, going through all the no's that end up leading to the yeses. So looking back on your journey, so you start achieving all this success, and obviously you are a seasoned veteran. You are a leader, not just in the company, but in the profession itself. Of what you see from the industry right now, for the new people that are coming into network marketing in 2020, what are some of the biggest challenges that you see them facing that you and I, obviously you joining in the early 2000s, me joining in the early 2010s, what is something that they're facing differently than we had to face when we joined these opportunities?
That's a fantastic question, Scott, because that therein is my learning curve. So 2 things. If you're coming in now, you have a platform to present to people through social media, which you and I didn't have, right? The old school, pick up the phone, call people. But that platform also, there's a lot of other people out there also presenting what they have. And so it's how do you work through all the minutia so that people who have eyes on you are like, hey, I want what Scott has. No, hey, I want what Carolyne has. No, I want to work with Scott or Carolyne versus, you know, everybody's got a thing that they're presenting. So what I say to people is present your authentic self. And if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see I'm not all decked out in the Instagram perfect outfit and the right colors. In fact, I posted a picture of myself working out in boot camp, and I'm like, oh my goodness, look at my hair. So new people coming in, guys, it's who are you presenting to the world? Why would anybody want to run alongside of you? And the pivot now is, and I was talking to a mentor of mine, he said, there's a lot of product out there. Everybody has good product. What do people need now? In these last 4, 5, 6 months, people are in dire need of a hand up with what? Pay their rent, pay their money. So my pivot now is to teach people about the possibility. And I don't use the word business, Scott, because when that was presented to me, I went, business? Ooh, I don't know anything about business. I went to high school. I don't have any letters behind my name. I don't have any leadership skills. I don't know how to train any. All the don't knows came up for me, which is why I closed the door, because I thought I wasn't capable. So everybody needs money, whether it's $100 to help pay for the products that have made you healthy, whether it's $500 to pay your rent. So I talk to people about income. And if I could show you a way to generate, I don't know what it is that you need in your household. If I could show you a way to generate a side hustle, because people have been out there doing it, driving a car, opening up their home, but those doors are closed off. So we have the opportunity now in network marketing where we've already been working online, where we already know how to do these Zoom calls, and we know how to, I'm learning Instagram. Like, I don't know Instagram, so I got to learn those. So learn the social media platforms, know who the person is that you want to reach out and lock arms with, and then just go be yourself.
You and I both know that what we were taught, you 15, 20 years ago, me 7 years ago, almost 8, that list of 100 people, right? Who do you know? That was necessary at that phase of where network marketing was. Social media wasn't really prevalent in how people built, because what people fail to recognize, in today's market, that list of 100 needs to be a list of 10,000. And how you get, and I remember, and I shared this with you, I was at a conference with you. I was sitting next to you, and the trainer that was on stage had all these people come up and write these numbers on the board of how many conversations they had to have to get to where they are. And it was like 5,000 conversations, 7,000 conversations, 4,000 conversations, 10,000 conversations. I said, well, I need a lot more people. And that's what really drew me to LinkedIn. Everyone knows that because you can have 30,000 connections. But the other misconception is this: if your friends and family don't support you, don't talk to them. Which, again, I don't agree with, because your friends and family don't have to join you on your journey to support you. They could support you by just cheering you on. Good for you. They don't have to buy your products. They don't have to buy your creams and your shakes and your CBD oils or whatever you're selling. And if you're part of an organization, and this is just my opinion, if you're part of an organization where that upline is telling you, listen, if your friends and family don't want anything to do with what you're doing, or they're not supporting you, don't talk to them. Listen. And sadly, that's told by a lot of people. And between you and me, I was told, if you're not being supported, don't spend time with those people, blah, blah. Listen, you're still a human being. It's a business. You should never have to put onto someone else what you feel they should or should not do. So you've been through a lot of the transitional phases in network marketing. You were in network marketing in the days of VHS and DVDs, pre-social media, like literally. And we talked about this, that back in the day, and I'm putting that in air quotes, network marketing was a very special and selective opportunity that only certain people ever found out about, because it was being treated like a speakeasy. You needed to know whether the clam chowder was the red or the white to even get in the door. But now a lot of people are treating it like a corner bar. Fake ID or not, you're getting in. And people they're not qualifying people in their business. And I think what's great about you and your business, you have tens and thousands of people in your organization, and you have all different types. You have business builders. You have product sharers. You have just consumers. So with that being said, how important is it for someone in network marketing 2020 and beyond to have that balance, the best way they can, of having those runners that are building a business, to have those joggers that are casually sharing and still earning a little bit of income, but also the walkers that are just enjoying the products? How important is it to have a balance of all three?
Great question. And absolutely, and you say in air quotes, back in the day, yes, I made my list of 100, but here's the thing. When other people were making their list of 100, I would not have made that list. I wouldn't have made that list because I didn't have all the qualities that people put on that list. And so I'm grateful that somebody found me and gave me a product, and that product led me to this opportunity. So a couple of things, and you said it, Scott, we don't qualify people. If you had a business and you were hiring people, we just like open the door and the first 100 people, come on in. Yeah, take whatever job you want, right? We don't do that in traditional business. Why do we do it here? So here's what I've learned. You got to know the numbers. I am first and foremost a consumer of my company. I'm a product user. Number two, most people these days, because of the FTC rules, is where, you know, it's everybody's coming in as a customer, right? We're not loading people up with products. So you're going to come in as a customer, test the waters out, and then you have to sign a disclaimer or look at a video that's saying, yeah, I want to know about the potential to earn some income. So now I'm qualifying myself for the next step, and that is knowing about how I can generate some income. So things are pivoting in, at least in our company. I don't know what other companies are doing. So I don't bring anybody in. There's no membership fee. They come in, they enjoy the products. They can buy, you know, one thing, they can buy a whole pack. I want to serve my customer where my customer is at, not my agenda, their agenda. I want to open the door. So we have about 90,000 people in our organization. I've personally enrolled about, I would say 500 of those people, which is thousands of conversations. You're right, to get to that 500. And out of the people, that 90,000, 80 to 85% are customers. Understand your customers, what they want and need. Don't try to convert them. Let them know the potential. Like if I was sharing with you, Scott, and you decided to come in with whatever products we decided was best for you, I'm going to let you know that there's a component there for you to generate some income. I'm not going to use the word business, because I know that, you know, people are, I don't have time. No, everybody needs money. I don't care how much money you have, you still need money. So I'm going to let you know about the potential for some income, planting the seed, use the product, serve you, coach you, guide you, teach you how to be your own customer. And then out of those other 20%, 17 are curious about how they can get their products paid for. My mom's going to be 90. She gets her products paid for every month. Okay, I showed her what to do, and I help her. And at the other end of the spectrum, we probably have about 10 millionaires in our team. So out of that 20%, 17% are going to say, oh, yeah, okay, I'm curious. And 3% are going to be like me. I'm doing this with or without you, with or without the upline, with or without the guidance. But here are the key factors that I learned. First, I got to be coachable myself, because this is a system-based business. If I bought a McDonald's franchise, I couldn't just go and create whatever hamburger I want under the McDonald's arches. I have to be coachable. McDonald's is going to give me their systems. The same thing in our company. I'm going to give you the system. So are you coachable? So there's where I'm qualifying people. Are you coachable? How committed are you? Not on my agenda, on your agenda. How much time can you devote to this, right? And what's your consistency factor? That leads to the compound effect. And I'll give you the numbers. One of our mutual mentors taught me this. He said, Carolyne, can you talk to 1,000 people in a year? And I'm like, no, because I don't know 1,000 people. He said, well, here, and he prepared me for failure. In this business, we don't get prepared for failure. We see the glory of all the success, and we don't know the failure. Like, there's this much failure. We don't see that. And so he gave me the numbers. He said, can you okay, you don't know 1,000 people. Can you talk to 3 people a day over the next 365 days? I go, that's doable. That's what I did. And he said, you will fail 90% of the time. Out of that over 1,000 people, there's a potential for 10% of those people to join you in your business. I failed miserably. I enrolled 28 people in my first year. So know the numbers, consistency, coachability, and commitment.
I love all three of those, and it's the truth. But I also love something that you said, and you've heard this before, that you can't control who your upline is. You can't control who your enrolling sponsor is. And, you and I have both talked to people where they said, my team stinks. It sucks. They have no system. My upline's not there. They quit the business. And I love what Zach Slobin says. His saying is, so what? Now what? All right. So what? That's happened. Now, what are you going to do about it? Because when you join any network marketing opportunity, I don't care what it is, when you sign on that dotted line to become an independent distributor, you've also opened up your own business. Mm-hmm. So people aren't going to, yes, there's some hand-holding in the beginning, but where you and I both see eye to eye is there's too many people running an adult daycare center where they're dragging these people along and they want it more than that person wants it for them. Again, you said something very powerful a little while ago, and you said people to walk alongside of you. We're not looking for followers. We're looking to develop other leaders, because when you develop other leaders, they're going to do this business with they don't care what you're doing. They don't care what you're not doing. They care about building their organization. And that's how you know you have someone that you really want to run with. So what is your message to that network marketer that's listening to this? They love the company, they love the products, but they don't have the support that they truly want. What is your advice to that person?
Well, first of all, I want to define what support is. And when people say to me, yeah, I was in this company and I didn't get support, I said, could you send me a copy of your last week's calendar? So I want to see their activity. When people say, oh, the product didn't work. Okay, could you tell me how you were coached? So I want to look at their history and see what their activity level was before they start placing blame, right? So when there's mentors everywhere, Scott. So we're in a profession where you can access information. So find the leader. You and I are not financially linked, but you have come and graciously taught my team about how to build on LinkedIn, right? And so I look for the people who have created success that, and I said, oh, okay, great. All right, he's doing that. Scott's doing that. That's working. Well, I need to learn that. I'm not waiting for somebody to tell me, oh, Carolyne, you need to learn this, because my journey and your journey and their journey are in a different place. And here's what I learned. After 17 years with my current company, the team that got me here is not the team that's going to take me to the next level if I desire a next level. So also the person, Carolyne, who got her to this place of this prosperity may not be the Carolyne that needs to go to the next level. So what does Carolyne need to first step out and be, do, and learn before she can start blaming and complaining, right? So that's where I'm at. So if you're new to network marketing or a seasoned network marketer and think the grass is greener somewhere else, my friend, just remember this. You're taking yourself as you are to that piece of grass. So I've learned to fertilize the grass in my own backyard. I've learned to qualify and weed out the people who are toxic and taking up space. I've learned to let go of people who have chosen another team, profession, whatever, and just look forward and say, yeah, these things happen for a reason. What's the lesson? Now, how do I move on?
Having tunnel vision is so important, because the science of getting rich and creating wealth is living in a world of creation and collaboration instead of a world of competition and comparison. So if you're going to compete with everybody else, if you're going to compare yourself and look around, you're never going to truly get to where you want to be. So before I get to my final question, how can people find you on social media, find out more about what you do, how you help others? Where should they be directed to?
Well, they can just go to my website, CarolynRodrigues.com, Carolyne, Rodrigues spelled with an S, Rodrigues, Rodrigues.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Linktree. So yeah, I'm so grateful that I have a VA that handles all of that. So we'll give you all those links to post with your podcast. And I'm absolutely thrilled to help anybody who just wants to know, can you give me 1 or 2 tips? Because that was afforded to me when I went to all these different events, our in-house events, our generic events. I would seek out people who were on the stage or had success, ask for 2 minutes of their time and say, okay, if you could give me 1 tip, what would that be? Based on where I am right now. So I'm making that offer to any of your listeners.
Love that. Well, I highly encourage you guys, because I know there's a lot of you out there that listen to this, to take advantage of what is being offered. So all of the ways that you can connect with Carolyne are going to be obviously in the show notes. So Carolyne, last question. There is no wrong answer because it's what it truly means to you. What does success truly mean to you?
That's a great question, Scott. And now at 65, going into my next half decade to 70, I compartmentalized my life in 5-year segments. And I was just asking myself that question. What is 65 to 70 going to represent? And for me, it's success is just being happy with who I am today and what I'm doing in this present moment.
I love it. I mean, being present is everything because it's the only time that we can actually control. It's right now. So I love everything that you said and everything that you brought to this episode. And I'm just truly, truly grateful for you and your friendship, your mentorship, and all the wisdom that you brought to this episode. I know it's going to make people feel a lot better. And I know it's going to move the needle for them forward in the direction they wanted to go to. So thank you so much for being here today.
Well, and thank you, Scott. You know, what you're doing to really elevate the profession of network marketing, because that's what we are. We're professionals. I just want to say thank you to you because I've learned lots from you, my friend. And I thank you for letting me pick your brain and offer some free tips to help me just show up as a brighter star in this, in this world that we're playing in. So thank you.
I appreciate those words, and that's what leaders do. We lift people up. We don't push people down. So guys, again, all of the ways of how you can stay connected to Carolyne are going to be in the show notes. Absolutely take advantage of what she offered. And again, wherever you're listening to this from, take a screenshot, throw it up on social. You can tag us, find us on social media, but also head over to iTunes and leave a rating and review from this episode. What were the needle moving moments and nuggets for you? So again, guys, please enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you again so much for checking out this week's episode. And if you can, head over to iTunes, search for Network Marketing Made Simple, leave me a 5-star rating, basic review. I would be grateful for all of the support you guys can give me. And again, if you'd be interested in learning more how to utilize LinkedIn to grow your business, your brand, and your bank account, head over to my website, www.scottaaron.net. Fill out the form for your free 15-minute discovery call so I can learn more about you, your business, and how we can work together. And again, thank you guys so much. Grateful for you all, and I'll see you next time.